I was really kind of interested initially in you saying, what is the media company out there that's exciting you most right now? Quibi's obviously meant to be coming out in April, but we are yet to see whether it will happen. Are you excited about that?
I'm excited about it because nobody's like, I'm not sure if it's going to work. Actually, I'm that, whereas everyone's like, oh, it's going to fucking tank, or man, the Jeffrey Katzenberg, he's done so many great things, so this must be good. And you got Meg Whitman. There's no gray area. People think it's going to succeed or fail.
Can they really be the people who are leading forward on a platform, it seems entirely designed for millennials, perhaps even Gen Z? The winning combination that it seems they're banking on is the content creators. Some people were questioning if they should move the timing. Would you move the timing if it was you?
I did see, I think it was today, they are planning, as well as HBO with Max, to not move timelines. There's a lot of noise, that's for sure, but also there's kind of a lot of people just sitting around waiting for content to be consumed.
I spoke to the chief strategy officer at a very well-known video platform, and they said 30-40% up on viewing sessions and consumption of viewing data. Let's not forget, somebody has to pay for that bandwidth. And yet, fill rates for advertising, down. So we've got this differential starting to build here.
There's a lot of companies that are name brands today. Some of those companies are going to find themselves meaningless in 5 years. They have a core business that's making a lot of money, but this is a dying business. And there is an opportunity over here. The opportunity is direct to consumer. You don't want to cannibalize this existing line of business that's basically paying your bills by putting all your eggs in a direct to consumer strategy. They're going to find themselves cannibalizing themselves from both ways. How does a legacy media company pivot from a wholesale distributor of content to a direct to consumer brand? Like take Viacom, for example. Like Viacom's not known. They're known to us. Everybody knows Nickelodeon, MTV, BET, Comedy Central. You know that. So like a pan Viacom product, not everybody's going to know what that is. So what does that look like? What is that called?
The Viacom CBS proposition is really compelling to advertisers, spenders in the market, because, it's that hub and spoke model of, go to one place and you're going to have an articulated content strategy to get your brand involved. Who else do you see as sort of rising stars right now? Is there some people out in the market who you really think are driving the industry forward and show promise?
Two companies I really like what they're doing, CuriosityStream and Stars. CuriosityStream, they've figured out exactly where they fit in the marketplace. They're also doing a smart balance of direct to consumer, and also they're leveraging a lot of affiliate partnerships. Some companies rely too heavy on one particular partner, Amazon, and it's like, you give an Amazon everything. Company X puts out, we have 10 million OTT subs. And if I'm Amazon, I'm like, we show 7 million of Company X subs. Like, well, holy shit, next year when we renegotiate the license agreement, instead of taking 30% off each sub, let's demand 60. They can't say no. They're not going to shut off 70% of that business. You just gave everything to Amazon at that point. And Amazon has all your customers. They're also selling your competitor's service too.
The content producers making a TV show, they're the people who are making the value proposition for that platform to buy it. But importantly, any platform can buy it. If Netflix offer more money than Disney Plus, the content producer will sell it to Netflix. That's a dangerous place to be if you're an OTT provider. It's much cheaper to say, we're going to buy the best content in the market, but we're also going to start developing new experiences that are from us. When Netflix started doing interactive, I still don't think they've been given enough respect for doing it. Anybody that's going to Netflix and watching something that's interactive, whether you agree with the experience or not, I know that Netflix are doing something which is different.
Well, who was the studio that created House of Cards? Because Netflix has their own studio. It wasn't Netflix, though. Who was the hero in the viewer's mind was Netflix. Like, that is a Netflix studio-produced show. It's not. But you know what? That's what people think, and why a lot of companies, like Amazon has their own studios, Netflix has their own studios. Yeah. This is why a lot of studios bought media distribution companies like MGM and Epix, Lionsgate, Stars. Yeah, there's a lot more control creatively and financially when you're also creating your own content at the studio level. And then from an interactive video adoption point of view, I think that adoption needs to happen at the OTT level. And by that, I mean those that have their own studios.
Always with this kind of thing is like, how do we do it across every piece of content in the world? or are we going to just do a little innovation project for $5,000? Those are the two extremes which people have, and neither of them work. The organizations in media are too big to be able to take it on at a high level right now and do it across everything. It takes a lot of wheels, a lot of stakeholders. And at the bottom end, you don't prove anything with a $5,000 pilot. Curiosity Stream would be one of those ones that I really believe benefit from interactive as well. National Geographic's one of our partners, particularly in branded content experiences. Curiosity and interactive are meant to be together. You're telling me as an editor, I'm going to watch this 2-minute piece of content. You've decided what's important. What if I want to go and explore further? What if I want the context and the depth of something that's not being edited into the shot right now? There is a fundamental issue I'd like to address with interactivity. It is the choose your own adventure problem. WireX is really positioned as a Photoshop for interactive features. We have a range of features for telling stories interactively rather than it being one. That one feature requires you to shoot additional material that then your audience go down those paths. That is a production headache. And the second thing, if I'm watching something with several different path choices, I'm wanting the path that's the best. And if I choose a path that's like, oh, this is a bit shit, I get frustrated. There are other interactive features which have broader appeal. For the film Free Solo, switching on a head-up display and seeing the GPS location of where he is, seeing the clothes that he's wearing, seeing the music that he was listening to in his headphones, that is like really cool context and really interesting parts of the story which I wouldn't have otherwise seen. And importantly, don't require me to shoot anything else. The industry of OTT, it's largely unproven what Quibi is going to do. It's also early days for most of the other players in this market. You mentioned HBO Max, Disney Plus. Is anybody who's familiar with what's going on at the back end of media entertainment at the moment knows the workflow is a major issue. You know, that's why we created our media services product. A lot of these companies are on-premise solutions and they haven't yet managed to implement cloud workflow. And a lot of them are still trying to get that manual workflow together, and yet that manual workflow is now going to happen from home.
In some way, shape, or form, I'm talking to a large media entertainment company per day. What I realize is every company has issues, mine included. There's like 30 people trying to figure out a problem. Nobody's standing a voice. Nobody's given the voice.
There was a leader in the UK of the BBC called Greg Dyke, who came in at a time when the BBC was a bit chaotic. He would say, like, you can directly talk to me from the bottom to the top. Ideas can come from anywhere. But it did come out with some really exciting, innovative starting to the industry. I mean, BBC iPlayer, for those not aware, is an interactive video on demand product that was probably way ahead of its time. He gained a lot of respect and support for guiding really as a visionary from the front. I'm not seeing enormous amounts of that in the media space. The way BBC started using interactivity, and they use us for interactive storytelling and kids' TV shows, they've been enormously successful. They have a BAFTA award for their work. They created a section of their product called BBC Taster, which came with a very clear remit to the audience. We might fuck up. This stuff you're about to watch, untested, we don't know how well it's going to work, we're just trying it. And if the audience understands that, the intention is clear, you could be quite bold. And that is not something that I've seen from any other media company, honestly.